Welcome back to the Oracle Sports Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about USF versus South Carolina State University, the AP poll again, and women's soccer. I am Mithil, Vyas, the sports editor. I'm joined by Tobey, Blair, the assistant sports editor.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by correspondent Ricardo Cuomo.
What's going on?
I'm also joined by the man behind the scenes again, Zahir Nelson.
A lot of people joining us.
Yeah, we got a full house today. So, Tobey, you were at the game on Saturday against South Carolina State. You want to kind of walk me through what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, just a return to form after the Miami game. Golish said that, maybe they didn't look like they wanted to, and they did. They probably, actually, honestly, really funnily enough, you win 63 to
14.
63 to 14. And the first thing he said was that we played sloppily. So, I guess that's what it takes to be a team like that. But really impressive performance. I think kind of more of the same, and a good way to go into a bye week and then into conference play after a really tough schedule. And you always say that I was at the games, but you're usually there too.
But yeah, I was there too. We were there with two other correspondents who covered the game. If everyone wants to go check those out on our website. But yeah, at the game, obviously, like you said, it was a return to form. I especially think about the run game. I think we saw 4 or 5 different people get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, just everyone is getting the ball, which is, what you kind of hope in a game like that where you're just kind of winning by a lot. You want to, get some of the younger guys the ball. Byram looks good. I think he had an interception, so he's not starting up a new streak, I guess, but maybe next week he will. But 14 for 20, 236 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. I mean, not much to be mad about, but it seems like they had a little bit to be mad about. They wanted more, and so you throw 4 touchdowns, and you're like, well, I want a 5th one.
Well, I think Golish was still mad about that slow start that they've been having. I think that everyone has seen these first 4 weeks. Obviously, against Boise, was slow from the start. Boise scored a touchdown. Florida, obviously, that game started very slow. Miami, super slow, then into the rain delay, and you guys were there. I mean, I think that's kind of something that they need to work on. I can't say to Coach Golish, like, hey, you need to do this. Obviously, he's not going to listen to me, but I think he will kind of tell everyone that, hey, this is what we need to work on. And like you said after the game, he said we started offensively sloppy. I mean, defensively, they scored a touchdown, like a few minutes in? 93-yard pick six by graduate linebacker Mac Harris. And, I mean, he had a game for himself as well. I mean, two sacks.
He was everywhere. 10 tackles, 2 sacks, interception, had a forced fumble. I mean, talk about just being everywhere all at once. He had Stubblefield and
William Atkins.
Fourth. The fourth. And in a bad time, it looked like once USF got the ball rolling, I mean, defensively they never missed a spot, but on the offense, it has taken them a little bit. And Golish talked about how, like, you can't do that, like, because you can get away with that against SC State, but when you're playing, like, down the road, you have to play like Memphis, North Texas. You saw it against Miami. You're not going to get away with having a small, kind of stuttery start. But they made up for it in the end. So, you can only be so mad. I'm sure as a fan, South Florida fans are not very mad about that outcome, but Alex Golish seemed to have some interesting thoughts about it.
Okay.
The defense didn't start too hot either. I mean, having South Carolina State drive the ball inside your 10 in the first drive, I don't think that's the start that Golish wanted for his defense. And, I mean, they made up for it with that pick 6, but I don't think that was a good start for the defense. Luckily, they kind of, fixed it. They started playing better, especially heading in the second half, because I think it was 21 points in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. And then they ended up with 63. But, yeah, I just think the team needs to work on starting the games on a better note, just because it seems like they've been getting into grooves heading into the second half. And like Tobey said, that's not going to fly against the better teams in college football.
Yeah, and that was kind of the case against Miami, where when they played Miami, obviously you go to Hard Rock, tough environment, tough time, and they went down 14-0 like that. Just like instantly you're down 14, and it's like that's a tough hole to dig yourself out of. Especially a really good Miami. Miami is currently borderline the best team in the country. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, so when you get to South Carolina State, you have to – Golish said that the idea here is that we need to play every opponent. Like, the opponent doesn't matter because it's our standard. What we are – like, how we play does not change. And that's a problem that USF has had in the past. I remember last year against Southern Mississippi. They went down early in that game, ended up absolutely dominating. But – You create those scenarios for yourself where you have to come back from 14 points, or you have to do something that you don't want to have to do, and it obviously can be problematic for any football team. But they responded well. They did. I will give you. They did kind of get bailed out by the hit on the quarterback. Mac Harris catches it and 93 yard.
Yeah, I mean that was a little odd to see in person. I didn't think that was what I expected out of that. Obviously, you see him get drilled, and then the ball's just kind of like fumbling around in the air, and you see Mac Harris grab it, and then all the way down the field. But I think, like you said, having that slow start and moving into that kind of different pace in the second half, it comes from not just the offense and defense, but I think highlighting the special teams, especially this past weekend, really proved that the Bulls are working towards getting all three sides of the ball moving. Alvin Isaac, I mean, he looked really good.
Oh my!
Getting obviously, I think it was the first punt he muffed it, and then
did.
After that, I think he returned every single punt for maybe 45, 50 yards, and then after that, we saw like first drive, first play, just a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing to experience. Alvin Isaac had 5 punt returns for 110 yards. He averaged 22 yards of return. I mean, like, what are we doing here?
I mean, that's like some Devin Hester numbers.
Yeah,
over here.
and then he has a single kick return for 34 yards. What is going on? That was something that I had never seen before, where it's just like this guy. And at what point does it become, hey, punter, kick the ball out of bounds? Please stop kicking it to him. And I guess it never got to that point, but it had. At some point, maybe, hey, kick the ball out of bounds. Don't even if you give up a few yards, like we're giving up 30. So it was interesting. I genuinely have never seen something like that where a player just like continuously got the ball kicked to them and just like every single return. It's like he was making people miss. It wasn't even like a blocking thing. It was like sometimes he would have like 3 or 4 defenders that would be right there, and he would just like do whatever, and then it's like, okay, now he's staring at open grass. How did he just do that? Like, you blink and he's gone. He has been a really interesting development so far in this during this season.
So talking about Alvin Isaac and those punt returns, like I was on the field taking photos of that. It's like pretty insane to see how he'll just make that open space, make defenders drop on the ground. Like I have a picture of him with the defender on the ground just laying down. It's like
photo gallery.
Yeah, go check that out.
Gallery.
Yeah,
USF Oracle.
Came out today.
It did come out today, I think.
Tuesday
Tuesday.
is when we record this.
Yep.
Came out. But no, I completely it was insane just seeing the distance he was able to cover. It's like you have some guys who are quick and some guys who are fast, but he just seems kind of like a little bit of both. That first step is deadly, and then from there, second, and third, and fourth step seem to be pretty deadly too. It was crazy to see.
Yeah, and speaking of returns, kind of transitioning, are we ever going to see South Florida's return back into the AP poll?
Wishful thinking at this point. They have South Florida at 28. I mean, I don't know how you win by 50, 40. whatever, and go down a spot. But, that's kind of what we're at right now.
I think it's also important to note that this is an FCS team we're talking about. I mean, I don't think the committee likes those games against FCS teams because they don't consider them quality wins, so to speak. And I also think it's important to note that while USF did score 63 on them, Indiana also scored 63 on Illinois. And looking at the poll right now, Illinois is 23rd in the poll, which it makes no sense to me. I mean, why should you still be ranked if another team? It was a ranked team, that's fine, but it's 63 points we're talking about. It's not like it was a close game or it was a quality loss. No, it was 63 points. You got blown out and you're still in the rankings. And then you have USF who also scored 63. It was against an FCS team, obviously, but it's a 63-14 win. It's a great win, and you're basically punishing a team for having an easy schedule, if that makes any sense. I mean, you just can't you can't get away with getting 63 points scored on you and still be in the rankings.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that this will go back to the overarching theme of last podcast for any of our loyal viewers of what are we doing? What is going on? But it is especially annoying about Illinois because everybody knew this. Illinois in the top 10? What? And then they played Indiana, who is a good football team, but I don't know that personally I would describe them as a fraud checker. I don't think that Indiana is the top of the echelon, the high echelon of college football. And just not even close. There's not even a moment in this game where you think you're going to win. And this is the thing where USF loses 49-12 against, at the time, the fifth best team in the country. Now, looking back on that, Miami is the second best team in the country. They just beat Florida. Pretty good, Florida there was never really a point in that game where it was okay, Florida's going to take this one. And they lost better. 49-12, 63-10. In South Florida drops from 18 out of the rankings. Illinois loses 10-63 and is now the 23rd best team in the nation.
I think I was going to agree with Ricky on what he was saying here and basically you kind of summed it up for me, is how do you justify kind of this drop? I mean, if you look at Illinois' strength of schedule, or not their strength of schedule, just who they played in general, I've got it right here. They've played Western Illinois, Duke, and Western Michigan. And then they lost 63-10 to what, Indiana was 18 at the time or something?
Yes, 18.
Yeah, and I think it's just you look at South Florida's schedule. They beat
19 actually. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, it's close enough.
Fact-checker.
But you look at South Florida's schedule. Week 1, blew out then number 25 Boise State. Week 2, go into the swamp, a raucous environment, very, very loud. I mean, we talked about that in our first podcast episode.
Scary.
Very scary. And they go in, game-winning field goal. I mean, that takes some serious courage to do. I was thinking of the right word there. I didn't want to say anything wrong, but and I mean, you go down to Miami. I think personally, if I was an AP poll voter, I would have Miami at 1. They do look like the number 1 team in the nation. They look sound on offense, defense, special teams. They have it all. And I'm not dissing Ohio State. Obviously, they won the national championship last year. They beat Texas, who really shouldn't have been ranked number 1 at any time this year.
Nope.
And even then, kind of going off Texas, they played what was it, UTEP?
No, this week they played Sam Houston State.
Well, the week before that, when Arch Manning went 0 for 10 in 10 straight completions. And I mean, how are you going to justify this Texas team who's, I mean, he's going 0 for 10. He's supposed to be a Heisman candidate. I mean, yeah, I think it's just kind of tied behind that name. Obviously, Mannings are very popular, very well known, and have that historical aspect to it. But I think it's just kind of, we're seeing this bias still for the AP poll voters. And I think when you look at it, like when you look how it's broken down, you have 57 voters who have P4 affiliation. You have 13 that are G5 or FCS. And I mean, you kind of look at it, and I think Zahir was telling me earlier, there's 10 SEC teams.
I think there is 7 Big Ten teams.
Mississippi State's on the cusp.
Absolutely baffling. Mississippi State, I've got who they
Listen to this. Southern Miss, Arizona State, Alcorn, and Northern Illinois. Well, Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame last year. So
Last year.
That's last year. And Notre
That's a
Dame,
key word. Last year.
again, we're talking about Notre Dame here. We talked about them last week, and we're still going off of the what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Notre Dame, they should not. I mean, Notre Dame, really? They lost to Miami in Hard Rock. You saw USF lose there too. Obviously, it was a closer game. But then did they go to, was it in South Bend or was it in Texas when they played A&M?
I'm not a Notre Dame beat reporter. It was somewhere.
It was somewhere. I mean, they lost in overtime to A&M. A&M's obviously ranked.
It was between the white lines, and that's what matters.
I mean, that's what we're. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. And who do they play this week?
Purdue.
And we talked about it the week before. We saw BYU's schedule, who's now they are ranked. And do I think they should be ranked?
You want me to tell
No.
you? Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina.
Do they not play Purdue?
No, BYU. Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina.
I don't know what I was thinking of.
25 in the nation. 25 in the nation. They beat Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina.
Even without the Purdue, no diss to Purdue, but what? Who is BYU playing that's that significant to be in the top 25, to be number 25?
Well, I just told you, Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina.
Those aren't teams that you can justify. South Florida has beaten 2 ranked teams at the time.
And Boise State hasn't lost a game since they played USF, by the way. I mean, given they played Eastern Washington and Air Force. But apparently if you beat anybody, you're good as long as you're not South Florida. Because if you beat Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina, you're the 25th best team in the nation. If you beat Boise State, Florida, and SCSU, South Carolina State University, you are not ranked. What's going on? What are we doing here?
Yeah, tying back to Notre Dame, I think the problem here is that they were still ranked last week, and because they won this week, there's not really an excuse to drop them out of the rankings. I mean, if we're being honest, they shouldn't have been ranked while winless last week. I mean, I think the voters just based that off a name. And looking at the rankings, it seems like some of the teams here are here just out of name. We just talked about Illinois, and we're talking about Notre Dame now. I mean, I just think that there wasn't really a reason to drop them out of the rankings this week because they won. And yeah, they lost against Texas A&M. They were 0-2 last week. They shouldn't have been ranked last week, and I think that's where the problem starts.
No, I agree. That is where the problem starts. And it's just continuously this thing of and we've talked about it, where it's just like, what is the criteria? What is going on? Who, and it's so many things. Like now I'm hearing from other sports journalists that the group of 5 favorite is Memphis.
Memphis?
Dude.
Memphis.
I've
Memphis?
heard North Texas too. Just
North
'cause they're
North
undefeated.
Texas looks
You
good.
want to know what I saw on ESPN? You know who is above South Florida as a group of 5 representative in the college football playoff?
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
I saw that too.
I did see that.
Hey, my catchphrase, put my face on a shirt, put this around it. What are we doing? What is happening? What is going on? Who's on Old Dominion's payroll?
They didn't even get any votes for the top 25 this week.
Well,
And
Memphis
they shouldn't have.
Memphis got votes. They beat Chattanooga. Okay, cool. They beat Georgia State. Okay, cool. They beat Troy. Okay, cool. And then they beat Arkansas by 1 point because Arkansas ran the ball in their own 10-yard line and fumbled. That was like Miami, Georgia Tech. I'm giving Zahir bad memories. Miami, Georgia Tech, kneel the ball down, kick the field goal. No, they had that game lost, and Arkansas just made a poor decision. Like, whatever, fine. That's completely okay. The Group of 5 favorite, they haven't played anybody.
I agree with you. I agree with you here. I think it should be South Florida.
And good news, live on the podcast, giving you guys a little update. USF versus Memphis, October 25th. Yours truly will be there, live in the Liberty Bowl, reporting on maybe the American Conference, like decider game earlier in the season.
I mean, will it be? I think.
No.
I was gonna say you got Tulane. Tulane looks good.
Who did?
Tulane did lose.
They did lose to Ole Miss.
They got dog walked
against
by
Ole Miss. Yeah.
They looked good.
45-10.
They looked good outside of that.
Well, they looked great against Duke. Yeah, what is going on with Duke? Can people stop beating Duke? Illinois beat Duke.
Well, same thing can be said for North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
UCF,
They've got
first UCF mention on the podcast.
Yeah, and UCF, they got 3 votes this week.
Scott Frost is still undefeated as a University of Central Florida Knight.
Yeah, I'm
Didn't know.
baffled. Why does
Wasn't familiar with your game, Mr. Frost.
UCF have 3 votes?
Well, they did score how many? 35 on North Carolina.
Cool.
I mean,
and we go back to the same issue we're talking about with the top 25. It's a name thing.
but it's
and-
North Carolina.
I know, and that's why I'm saying North Carolina has a big name.
These guys are
in college
basketball
sports.
fans.
I was gonna say they're not great in football like since Drake May.
Well, they
Drake
did
May.
produce Drake May.
Jordan ain't been there, bro.
But
He's on the Bulls.
what is happening? What are we doing?
What are we
I'm
doing?
still there. What are we doing?
No, it's been an interesting time. A lot of fun. I wanted to bring it back to Ohio State. I wanted to bring it back there. That's where my current quarrel is. So Ohio State is the number 1 team in the nation. They beat Texas. Good win. 14-7. Not the most inspiring game I've ever seen. Really annoyed that Lee Corso's final headgear pick was wasted on that game. Thanks, Ryan Day. But since then, they beat Grambling State and Ohio. Number 1 team in the nation, by the way.
And they didn't look good against Ohio either.
No. And Miami, since then, you beat Notre Dame, Bethune-Cookman. You got to have one of those. South Florida and Florida. These are not comparable resumes. 3 of those teams have at some point this season been ranked. Last time I checked, Grambling State wasn't ranked.
I just think that as much as it sucks to say, I don't think they're gonna drop Ohio State out of number 1 until they give them a reason to. And
that's the problem.
as long as they're undefeated, they're not gonna drop down from number 1. And that's the same issue we're talking about, the voters. The voters are basing this thing mostly out of name. And
Good point. I know you weren't here last week, but we talked about a certain voter. We talked about 2 actually. Haley Sawyer, obviously, who
TV reporter.
moved Florida up after South Florida beat them.
Old news at this point. It's 2 weeks.
But just in case someone doesn't know, I'm just letting them know. But Mr. Cokie Riley, let's talk about him.
What is he doing this week? What's he up to?
Last week,
Cokie Riley.
Last week we pulled up his reasonings, which is good. I like how he's giving out his reasonings,
It was good, for the
albeit
most
they may
part.
be wrong.
Well, no, he was fine until I found out about Notre Dame.
Because we were
Is
going down
Notre
the
Dame-
list.
Where's Notre Dame?
Oh, we'll get there.
Where is?
Oh, we'll get there.
Where are you?
But last week, everyone who did watch saw our live reactions to seeing his list. We were going down. We were looking at the bottom of the top 25. We are like, oh, Notre Dame's not here. He might have dropped them. I go back to the top, and he has them at 10.
I'm glancing over at your phone and looking at 1 and then Penn State, and I'm getting annoyed.
I'm telling you, this guy, no hate to him, but
What are we doing?
What are we doing? How? I mean, it's good he's giving his reasonings. Like I said, they may be wrong.
That's okay. Give me a vote. I want a vote.
Obviously, we're not going to get votes.
Maybe you're not going to get a vote.
But, I mean, they did release that thing where the public can vote on who they want. But
Listen, put the camera on me. Put the camera on me. Me and the AP poll are like this. We're tight. Me and the AP poll are cool.
I think you've been beefing with the AP poll for the past 2 weeks.
Hey, love-hate relationship.
Okay, but let's take a look at his. Obviously, you said Penn State 1.
What are we doing?
Don't agree. Miami 2.
Okay.
That's where they're at. I agree. Georgia 3. Georgia at 3.
I mean, like, sure, I guess, but
I mean, it was last week, right? They beat Tennessee
no, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm behind.
You
What
were
am I doing?
behind. What are you doing?
Who did they beat last
What
week?
are we doing?
He's got Ohio State 4. I agree with that. Okay. 5 is Oregon. I mean, that's like basically where they're at, right? They're at 6.
Georgia had a bye last week. They're
Oh.
playing Alabama, though.
That's
Who's
a good-
that coming?
That's a good. That's a good game. I mean, and you saw people complaining that like College Game Day wasn't going there.
They're going to Penn State, Oregon. Penn State's
Yeah.
about to lose that number 1 on Mr. Riley's poll.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I honestly don't know. You know where he has
Probably
Notre Dame this week? 13.
How did they
him-
drop?
He moved them down 3 spots after winning against Purdue.
Hey.
But he had them at 10
Hey.
at 0-2.
So they were 0-2. You moved them up. They're at 10. You put them at 10. They win a game, and then you move them down?
That's what are we doing?
Come
What are we
on.
doing?
Come on.
Okay, but whoa, like looking at the bottom of this list, Arizona State number 24. Didn't they lose against Mississippi State? I mean,
Yeah, they did. And Mississippi State are they ranked?
They're
In his
receiving
poll?
votes.
In his poll. In his poll.
poll?
they're not.
Nope.
Okay, so it's a little odd. Feel like that doesn't really make a ton of sense. What's his explanation? Does he have an explanation?
I'm going through it. He's got Michigan?
No, he's talking
Michigan
about
15. Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Okay, he did drop Illinois.
Yeah, I mean,
Completely
I
out.
would hope so.
I mean, if he didn't drop Illinois after
Illinois number 1.
that, if he didn't drop Illinois out of the top 25,
We are the Fighting Illinois.
we would have had to had some serious conversations about what this guy's job actually is. If he didn't drop Illinois,
He's on ESPN's on the Old Dominion payroll. Koki Riley's on the Illinois payroll.
well, he's not. He's on the Notre Dame payroll.
and apparently he's an LSU writer, is what I'm seeing.
LSU. How does he not have
He
LSU
doesn't
up
even
there?
have skin in the game.
Well, he does have number 8.
Number 8.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
It is reasonable.
I
but
agree with that.
Then you go down in the order and you see Arizona State number 24 and Iowa State number 25. I mean, I don't.
Iowa State 25. Iowa State 25.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
No, I don't know. This is crazy. I'm tired of this guy. We're good. Me and him are good.
We're good.
We're patching up our.
You know what? Maybe
Me
we
either.
should reach out to him.
Hey, well, here's what I'll say. Oh, that'd be funny.
Can we
Here-
get him on the podcast?
That
That is a good idea.
No, probably, but that's a great idea. We'll do it.
We'll reach
try.
out to him.
He
Kobe
won't.
Riley, expect to see me coming. I'm looking at you if you're watching this.
He's not.
He's not. But
But no. Well, how about this? How about this? Listen, this is my. Can I? Camera on me. Hey, people. Listen, I know that we've had our quarrels. I would love to be a voter, though. And ultimately, the AP poll that I see every week is infinitely better than Koki Riley's. And so that's enough for me. Thank you, AP poll. I hope you're listening. And he's dead. He's dead.
there's no way they're listening to that. But I will be reaching out to Cookie Riley.
Maybe next week.
bring him
We'll
down from Louisiana down to Tampa.
call him Baton Rouge.
Just gonna,
Give
him a ring.
Why don't you put me on the phone?
I'm gonna give him a ring. But
You're not getting no football ring at LSU. 2019 was your last chance.
I think we've talked a lot about the AP poll.
Let's calm our
Let's-
temperatures
yeah.
a little bit.
Shall we
Let's
move
cool
on?
down. We
Let's
shall
calm our
move on.
temperatures a little bit with some USF women's soccer.
Who's on a 5-game win streak now?
On a
Ricky, obviously, I mean, you are considered the beat reporter for women's soccer.
Yeah, apparently I am.
Enlighten us on that.
enlighten me.
I mean, yeah, they are in a 5-game winning streak. I mean, they have looked really, really good this month. They're undefeated in September, and they're undefeated going back to August 31st, which is a pretty good run. I mean, they started the season pretty shakily, so to speak. I mean, they ranked or they scheduled 2 ranked teams in their first 5 games, and they went 1-4 during those games. I mean, It was a brutal start, 1-4, but there's one thing that I admire about this team, and it's the ability to bounce back. Even though they did lose to South Carolina, UCF, and uh, Wake Forest, which are three really good teams, they have gone on to dominate pretty much the following games. They scored 3 goals against Stetson, scored 4 against Temple, and 6 against Grambling State. That is phenomenal.
Grambling State, maybe
Grambling
it should be
State
ranked.
should be ranked in the
Yeah,
people.
I mean, but yeah, there's one thing that Coach Brown likes to say a lot, and it's staying ahead of the curve. And I think they've done a really good job of staying ahead of the curve. I mean, now that they're heading into conference play, they've already played 2 conference games, but now that conference play is about to be in full swing, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, every game's about 3 points, and they just need to focus on, earning those 3 points if they want to have a shot at the conference championship.
I think I went to 1 women's soccer game. No, 2 actually. I was there for ECU.
Yeah, so I was at the game where USF women's soccer team played against ECU. It was a pretty good game. They had, I think, 6 more shots against ECU compared to like their 2 and our 8. Their 8. I didn't say that.
Well, that's only if you consider shots on goal, because they had a lot of shots in total. I can't remember how many, but they were a lot of shots. And I mean, that game, it was a really organized game in my opinion. I mean, Coach Brown really put an emphasis on controlling the ball and launching organized attacks. I mean, I did speak to him after the game, and he said that they knew that ECU was going to be a very organized team, that they were going to use all their width and all their potential, and they were ready for that. I mean, they really held their offense to, I think it was only 2 shots on goal. I mean, they did a really good job on defense, and on offense, they scored that 1 goal. I think it was Sotsuga who scored that. I mean, that was a screamer of a goal. That was from the edge of the box, and that was her first goal in the season, actually. So congratulations, Yui, for that. But we have to talk about Fetai. She has been one of the most important parts of the USF midfield.
She delivered that assist.
She delivered that assist, and now she is the team leader in assist with 5, which is, I think, it's really important to have a player who can, deliver to their teammates to have success. Because if everyone's playing their own game, there's no chemistry in the team. You're not going to win a game. But you have players like her and Hedda Ornberg, who is the leading scorer with, I think it's 5 goals. And yeah, you just have all these players who really know how to play the team game, and really you can tell that they trust each other, and they just have a good time playing, and I think that's really important.
Obviously, they've lost. It's 4 games now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 more than they lost all of last season. And I mean, I know you weren't here last year, last year, and it was Chris Brown's first season as head coach. They went to the conference semifinals. I think it was disappointing, obviously, that they lost to. I don't remember who they lost to actually. East Carolina. There we go. But
Little full circle moment for them.
Yeah.
yeah, and they just beat them 1-0.
I mean, Coach Brown did say that they were they wanted to they let me restart that. They scheduled those 4 opponents at the beginning of the season, hoping to get at least 1 win out of that, and they didn't get any wins, obviously. But I mean, it's number 21 South Carolina, UCF, who is obviously USF's rival, and Wake Forest, who is number 19 right now. So they're pretty difficult games, and if you don't get a win out of those games, that's fine. I mean, you're hoping to get at least one, but if you don't get it, you just bounce back and you focus on the next game. And I think Coach Brennan and the women's soccer team have done a really good job of focusing on the next team up. Like I said, they are on a 5-game winning streak, dating back to August 31st. They're heading into Memphis to play on Thursday, September 25th, which is going to be a really important game for USF as they head into conference play. It could really set the tone for the rest of the season. And, going back to last year, it was Coach Brown's first season as head coach, and his first season without his wife, Denise, which...
enlighten us. You had a really good story that came out today. The viewer, dear viewer, go check out Ricky's article about that.
Yeah.
Really good.
That goes to you, person listening or hearing this or watching this. Go read my article.
Good one.
It's really insightful.
Okay.
It's really good.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I did speak to Coach Brown about, how the transition has been from being his wife's assistant to now being the head coach of the USF women's soccer program. And you can tell that he values a lot the knowledge he gained from his wife. He obviously, this is his first time coaching in college without Denise. He does have experience coaching Guyana's and Puerto Rico's national teams. And I think he has some experience with the under 20 United States women's team. But he definitely feels that it's weird not having Denise by his side anymore. But he has kind of settled into that role of being the leader in the locker room. He did say that Denise is a much more outgoing and energetic person than him, and that he's more reserved, so that they kind of balanced out when they were together, coaching together. But he has really settled into that role, and he relies heavily on his players. He did talk to me about an initiative that Denise had that's called Leadership Group, and they have like 4 or 5 players in the locker room, relying on them and making sure that the players stay connected to him, because like he said, he's not a very outgoing person. So having seasoned veterans and good players that can lead the locker room and support you as a leader in the locker room is really valuable. And I think Coach Brown has done a really good job of keeping that in line.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely look forward to watching them some more. Should definitely head out to some more games. That ECU game was fun to watch. I was there for a little bit of the Grambling State as well. But I think that is all we have for today for the podcast. Just really want to say thank you, dear viewer and listener, for watching and listening to us for the 3rd week in a row now. Obviously, we'll be back next week. We'll talk a bunch of different things next week. Obviously,
Maybe the AP poll again?
Maybe the AP poll again. We'll see. I mean, South Florida's on a bye week, so not much to talk about there. But conference play does start, so we'll see. We'll talk about that. Hopefully, we'll get some more sports rolling around here. Some more new faces.
Get some. We're gonna attempt to get some correspondents in here
and maybe even Koki Riley.
Maybe even Koki Riley. I don't think so, but
games coming up soon for in the top 25.
Yes. When we return, college football will look different.
It will. We will talk AP poll.
Maybe we'll just for a week we can be ESPN. We'll just be First Take.
Nope. But thank you, dear viewer, for listening to us. Obviously, go check out our website where we publish our articles, usforacle.com. And again, thank you.